afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Sorry about the lunch. My name is Agustin. I work at dLocal. I'm Uruguayan. You probably may know some Uruguayan football players, Forlan, some others, Suarez. I don't bite. But good. So let's kick it off. I'm going to speak about the future of payments in emerging markets. So let's kick it off. You may know emerging markets for probably Carnival, beautiful beaches, majestic buildings. But today we're going to focus on emerging markets payments, specifically on alternative payment methods, and I will show you why. Sorry. Sorry, there's one slide that's missing, I think. I can go anyway. So what a really curious fact, that was the slide that's not there, but only 20% of all the consumers in emerging markets has access to an international credit card. What does this mean? That the other 80% is made up of alternative payment methods. So probably if some of you probably have planning of expansion, or you're looking onto like emerging markets in different regions like Asia or APAC or LATAM, if you might want to win there, you may nail all these alternative payment methods. If we go to the population, by 2100, and this slide is really impressive, we'll see that India has the lead by almost like reaching almost like 2 billion individuals, citizens there. And if we go to the right side of the slide, we'll see that between Africa and APAC, they will make up more than 82% of the population. And that is pretty surprising. So definitely we should double click there on that region and those regions and see what's going there. I'm going to go for the next one. A bit about dLocal, what we do. Of course, we have local expertise in all these emerging markets, like covering LATAM, Asia, and Africa. We are one connection away of reaching 2.6 billion consumers. And we have local teams everywhere, not only for collecting in local currency, but also for disbursing massive payments in all these regions. We'll start with Asia. Asia is a very fragmented region, very fragmented. And when I say very fragmented, there are like all around there are more than 150 wallets all around. This is very fragmented. And what's the problem there? What's the challenge? That all these, they don't have like much connectivity between them. So Singapore right now is playing a key role trying to connect all the dots and giving connectivity to all these countries. And let's say I have a wallet and I want to transact. I'm from, I don't know, Malaysia, and I go into another country like Philippines and I want to transact. They are making sure that they have, there is like connectivity in between them. 70% of the transactions having place in Asia are done via e-wallets. I was here in the previous panel about e-wallets and the importance, and this is very, very relevant. So the jump from 2020 to 2025 is like almost 800 million users. So that's pretty big jump. We'll focus on some of these big web. Indonesia is the one that I took as an example, because there is a very interesting behavior when it comes to wallets. In Indonesia, if you take like an individual, on average, they use more than 3 wallets. And usually on the daily routine, they just use the wallet for different purposes. They just use ShopeePay for shopping and online stores. They use OVO for groceries. They use Dana for paying bills and utilities. They use LinkAgio for probably paying gas station. This is supported by the government, this one, the last one. And also GoPay for ride sharing and ride hailing. So let's jump to India. UPI is the king in India. More than 60% of the payments done in India are done through API. UPI is an instant real-time payment system. It was launched in 2016. And it has more than 100 million active users, and it's connected to more than 382 banks. And last year, the amount processed via UPI was 710 billion. So that's impressive. What's next to this region, or what's next to India, that, as we saw before, is the leading country in terms of population? Right now, nowadays, it already passed China in terms of population, so we should keep an eye on that. So UP is next. This was launched in December by the government. What is e-rupee? Is electronic cash. So let's say you have cash, you put it on the wallet, you can have the cash on the phone, or you can have it on the wallet, and you just pass this electronic cash, the rupees, from one wallet or from one phone to the other one. What's the difference between UPI? UPI is whenever you transact on UPI, there is a bank settlement. So actually, there is a transaction, a debit from a bank account that goes to the other one. In this one, you don't have a bank settlement. It's just electronic cash, and you are able to unload and download cash every time that you like. So we are just witnessing how it's going on. But this is a really good initiative by the government. Let's jump to Africa. Actually, 3 weeks ago, I was in Kenya, Nairobi, and also I was in Lagos in Nigeria. We have local teams there. And when it comes to Africa, like if you look at this map, I just want to put it this way so it's more clear. Like in the north, you have like more cash-based methods, like Fori. Fori is the king in Egypt. Then you have mobile money. They were speaking a bit about M-Pesa in the previous panel. I want to explain what is M-Pesa more about. Mobile money, I'm impressed. I was in Kenya. I'm impressed how mobile money is doing it. And then cards and bank transfer in West Africa, Nigeria, and some other countries. Okay, Africa by numbers, with 1.4 billion population. They have a pretty low penetration rate on cards, 3.92. And there is a good smartphone penetration, but it's still, like in Africa, the infrastructure for internet is not the best. So something that's really good to mention, Starlink landed in Africa and some countries on Asia. We are helping Starlink to connect and to collect payments there. So we are glad that we are helping in some way to build infrastructure in these countries. And this will help a lot for the initial slide that I showed the population by 2100. So satellite via internet, like internet via satellite, will help to boost all this infrastructure, and actually like all the Africans and all the Asians will have like a bigger stake in the participation on all the e-commerce. I will go for these three payment methods: Birth, Fori, and M-Pesa, which are like king in these countries, with some examples from each country. So mobile money, what's mobile money? So mobile money was founded by Nick Hughes in 2007. Usually in the previous year, cash was taken in bags and carried like really many kilometers away through highways. And there were big protests in 2006, and highways were cut for several days and weeks. So this guy came up with the idea, say, hey, I just want to build a company, I want you to do something about it. And he came with the idea using the networks, the telcos, in order to be able to do payments. Was pretty innovative for that time. It's not that far ago. And why it's so popular? It has more than 3 million agencies. When I say agencies, are these stores that you can go and you can just top up your money there, or maybe download money. It's just an ATM. And if you think about like more than 3 million agencies, it's almost the same amount of ATMs that are in the world. And this is just Kenya, Tanzania, and some other countries on the east. You don't need internet connection, so it's offline. It's secure. You can pay whatever you want. You can even get your salary by M-Pesa. Your wage can be paid by M-Pesa. And it's all in one place. M-Pesa now became like a super app, like what is WeChat or Alipay in China. So you can do everything through M-Pesa today. If you go to some of these countries, you'll see like the logo everywhere, almost everywhere. So Fori started as a cash pay method. This is more than 50% of the transactions in Egypt are done via Fori. So these started like as cash stores, There are more than 225,000 stores across 300 cities in Egypt. And right now, like if you get to your Fori app, you can even like have cards in your Bolt. You can also like it's connected to your home banking, so you can even like get a voucher of Fori. Just let's say you are on a checkout of e-commerce. Imagine the store of your preference. You get there, you just click Fori, you get a voucher. You can pay it cash. You can go to the store, and also you can pay with your home banking. Great. The next is Verb. Verb is a really strong local card in Nigeria. Even only 36% of Nigerians use credit cards. Verb has more than 60% of the market, passing Visa, MasterCard. So Verb is the rule when it comes to cards or local cards in Nigeria. What's interesting about Verb and how we are solving an issue that recently, like probably you know, but there's a lack of hard currency in these countries, not only in Nigeria, but some other African countries, also in Latam. So banks, what they do, they block any transaction to buy offshore for services, to pay in USD. Let's say you can't pay like your Spotify subscription, you can't pay your Netflix. So what we are doing, we are processing locally these cards, limitless, and then we expatriate, we take care of the effects, and we settle to these companies. What's new or what's next in Nigeria? The Central Bank of Nigeria launched AfriGo. This is to compete with Verb, actually. Verb has 60%, more than 60% of the market, so the central bank said, okay, we have to do something about it. They launched AfriGo, and we were just seeing how it goes. This was just a couple of months ago. I want to share with you some findings on treasury and also like remittances. So as I said before, we are observing for different reasons in several countries: Nigeria, Ghana, Egypt, Pakistan as well, Argentina already for a while, that there are many issues when companies want to take out hard currency. So many companies are struggling and having like tons of local currency sitting in bank accounts. So we are helping them to expatriate all those funds. So companies come to us, they start processing locally, and we take out the funds for them. Big opportunity on remittance in Africa and APAC. If you think of the median age of an African, it's 19.7 years. More specifically in Africa, is 18 years. So many of these citizens are willing to emigrate. In many cases, I was there last week. I have a local team there, so I'm constant talk with them. And they are sending like tons of funds, like on a weekly or monthly basis to families, relatives. So we are observing a big trend, specifically in Morocco, in Egypt, in Pakistan, in Nigeria, that is growing a lot. We are just dispersing from Europe or the US to these countries. So just also to keep it in mind. Okay, we came to the beloved Latam, where we were born, dLocal, and myself. In dLocal, it's pretty equally split, the payment methods. So you have like bank transfers, cards, APMs. So APMs account for 41% of the alternative payment, 41% are the alternative payment methods in Latam. And I really want to focus just on two examples there that for me are the most relevant ones. That is OXXO and Pix. My colleague Andres in the panel also was mentioning about Pix. And Pix really, they really revolutionized like all the payment industry in Brazil. So Pix was launched in 2020 by the central bank, by the Brazilian central bank, and it's been a revolution since then. Pix is cheap, it's very cheap, it's instant, it's 24/7, it's very easy to use. And the most important thing that is backed up by the central bank. And when I say back it up, is that you don't have a choice not to be, if you're a bank, not to be integrated to Pix. So every bank in Brazil is integrated to Pix. So we have many merchants are requesting Pix, many others are already processing with Pix with us. And here is Pix with numbers. We have a great day for the bank, for the Central Bank of Brazil. And look at the volumes for last year. more than 1 trillion in transaction reais, 66% peer-to-peer, 24% individuals, and so on. Okay, so let's jump now to OXXO. That is a cash payment method in Brazil. Maybe some of you know it. This is very, very, very popular. And why so popular? Because they have 17,000 stores all across Mexico. And 8 out of 10 bank deposits are made through OXXO. This is because they are integrated to banks. Nowadays, they started just as cash locations. And you can run even promotions via these stores. Like, when I say promotions, like physical promotions, you get to the store, you see your banner. We have done that for some merchants. So we promote that. So this is another way in order to do marketing for the merchants. But of course, it's, you can find, I know, if you ever go to Mexico, you will find an OXXO in every single corner. We have some success cases with Netflix and Spotify. For these guys, actually, for Netflix, they pay up front in order to see their favorite movies and series. So they go and say, okay, I just want to pay like $10 in local currency, and they pay for that, and we just credit that for Netflix, and they give a code, so they do that. Same with Spotify, like besides like doing recurring for the monthly charge, we can do the one-off for them, like via OXXO. So they pay like for a 6-month subscription, 1 year, or family package, or whatever they want. Okay, I don't really want to focus much on this. I just want to show you some of the most relevant payment methods. Of course, of that 80% that I mentioned at the beginning, dLocal is connected to every single local player in 40 markets, actually, in all the regions that I mentioned, Latam, Africa, and APAC. It's one connection away. There's full access for alternative payment methods. There's only one contract. You don't need to have a local entity because we work as a merchant of record model. So actually, you integrate to us and we process on behalf of the merchant. There's a full dashboard, full reconciliation reports, 24/7 support. And most importantly, we have local teams in every single country we are in. We are not controlling the globe like by remote control. We have the people there. They have their expertise. We have local people, and we can give advice on that on the ground. These are some of the companies we work with and some of the partners that we have. And that's it. Thank you so much. We brought a very talented team to this venue, and the booth is just there. Thank you so much for your time listening to me, and have a great afternoon.